Exactly. So I'm so sorry. That's why I had to put this down on paper. So I'll kick off.
Yes.
My background, first of all, to the extent relevant here. I'm a German-born citizen and entrepreneur leading a London-based firm founded by an Iraqi woman, now employing 500 professionals from 60 nationalities, exporting high-value services globally. We are a multi-ethnic organization, but not multicultural. We are all adherents of modern civilization, competent participants in modern high-performance culture, even if many of us come from less advanced societies. My contribution this morning to play the devil's advocate and reveal a partial rationality in the stark anti-immigration agenda of the patriotic right wing of the Alternative for Germany, the AfD, from the perspective of the long-term global commonweal, that is humanity's overall flourishing. And that's also been the perspective of Karl Marx, for instance. The AfD's centrist part of federal leadership is taking a pragmatic stance against the overburdening of Germany with mass immigration since 2015 in terms of overburdening welfare, stress on housing, schools, kindergarten places, doctor appointments, etc. The AfD is proposing to reintroduce border controls, abolish pull factors like generous welfare and quick naturalization, and actually to return those without right to stay. These measures are about relieving current stresses by slowing down immigration. And in fact, despite of being vilified for a number of years for these kind of proposals, now the government and the official opposition are taking on precisely these proposals. However, the AfD's self-described patriotic wing approaches this issue from a much more fundamental perspective, grounded in a deeply felt worldview. They are emphasizing 1,500 years of history, developing a national character and culture, and they emphasize the achievements of the German nation in terms of art, philosophy, science, and industry. They say that mass immigration from culturally distant nations is an existential threat to the very survival of the German nation, the way they see it, and to the survival, indeed, of European culture in general, because we have very similar dynamics. They see a demographic time bomb which will, in the absence of decisive efforts towards reversal, lead to native Germans becoming a minority in Germany. Some background statistics: in 2019, 40% of children under the age of 5 had migration background. In 2022, it was already 41% of children up to the age of 15. The fertility rate of native Germans is far below replacement level, and the AfD right wing expects this to further shrink, if not reversed, with very significant incentives. The worry is that the minority status of native Germans is already sealed. There's a sense of existential urgency. The primary overriding political task for them is therefore to halt and reverse what they call the population substitution. For the new right and identitarian influenced AfD patriots, this is not, as I said, primarily a pragmatic question of maintaining economic performance, but a question of the preservation of a cherished identity, the need to belong, fueled by pride and emotional attachment to the unique German nation. Perhaps also expressing the particular interest of the natives, who are still a majority. These are not my feelings and concerns at all. I am arguing from the perspective of humanity's long-term flourishing on this planet. And I'm not living in Germany anymore. In yesterday's session on Western civilization under siege, the question was raised but not answered. Can Western civilization be upheld by a new non-European population? That came from the floor, wasn't answered. I rephrase this in my terms. Can modern high technology and high productivity culture be expected to continue to progress at pace, with a majority and further increasing proportion of people socialized within more backward conditions? Okay. My answer: there could indeed be reasonable doubt depending on the speed of the substitution, on where specifically the majority of the new arrivals come from and which cultural socialization they come with or receive in the second or third generation in terms of assimilation of the relevant aspects and integration. Increasing strife in society, loss of cohesion and political fracturing, perhaps expressed in the formation of ethnic-based political parties, are further risks that could infringe on economic development. But even in the absence of the outbreak of disrupting conflict, culture matters. Culture is a key factor in achieving freedom and prosperity. Development economics confirms this. We need to grasp the extremely improbable, rare, unique historical prosperity takeoff, the singular escape from the Malthusian trap since 1800 in Western Europe, when productivity gains outpace the population growth there induce. This escape was finally possible by a more than 2,000-year cumulative accrual of many complementary cultural resources, an intricate network of precondition that is very difficult to copy, not least because it includes tacit ingredients that depend on deep socialization.
Thank you, Patrik. Sir.